for a period of I don't know how long, whether it was 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year, these guys will come and eat their food, drink their drink, and then they'll rape me. That's what my book is all about. So let me rewind a bit and tell you a bit more on the story. Now, when my mother left for UK and she left me in Uganda, she left me with my biological uncle. So which means he was the biological brother of my biological mother. And therefore, as far as she's concerned, she left me in good hands. And their contract was that she leaves me with him and she will pay for my school fees and for my upkeeping and everything. And she was sending money for me. She was sending money for my fees. She was sending clothes. She was sending all these things to look after me. Now, my uncle had 4 children, a boy that was older than me, a girl that was the same age as me, and 2 girls that were younger than me. And when I moved into the family, I was the 5th child. He was married with a wife, but my uncle, he was a very lovely man. But the only problem is when he got drunk, he was not very lovely. As soon as he got drunk, he would beat his wife, senseless. When I moved in with them, I was around 7.5, something like that years old. Sooner or later, the wife left. And therefore, in that house, I went from being a part of a family, and he took me out of school and said to me I had to look after his children. And therefore, I became a maid of that school, of that home. By the age of 8, I could cook everything. I could make everything. And one of the things that my uncle, like I said, when he got drunk, there is one incident when I knew I should have died, was when he misplaced his money. And he said that, he said to us as children, who's taken my money? And all his children said, no, we don't have your money, Daddy. And he turned around, he said, Ruth, I know you have taken my money. So he sent all the other children to the bedrooms, and he asked me to go and get a stick. So I went to get a stick, and I came back to the sitting room, and he told me to strip naked. So I took all my clothes off, and he began to beat me. So I then ran outside of the house, and our house was like, there was a big courtyard, so all the other houses were facing us. And then, so I thought if the other people see it, they will come to our aid. But everybody knew that if they interrupt him, they will be the one to face the wrath. So nobody came. So he beat me in that courtyard until he passed out. So while I was on the floor, he got up and he went and got some leaves. And he went and brought these leaves and he said, this is poison. And we knew it was poison because as children was told never to touch it. And he put the leaves in a little cup and he began to mix it with water. And he said to me to drink. And he said, because you are lying, you're going to die. And if you don't die, I know you're a witch. So he gave me this stuff to drink, and I began to drink it. And as I began to drink it, I felt myself get dizzy and fainting. So I just collapsed on the floor, hoping that I would just die. And then when he got up, he realized I wasn't dying. He looked at me and he said, because I know you're a witch, you're going to sleep in the chicken house. You're not going to sleep with me. And up to today, I'm afraid of live chickens. So in the morning, he went out, and the children came to see me in the chicken house, and the neighbor came to tend to my wounds in the back that I couldn't get to. And the children said to me, oh, guess what? Daddy found his money. And I said, okay. And they said, yeah, it was in his jacket. And of course, I knew it because I didn't take the money. So that was my life growing up with him. And then eventually I learned how to cook this meat. They call it mochomo, which is like dry roasted meat, barbecue meat. So he got two of his friends, and he would on a weekend, his two friends will come over and him, and they would drink, eat, and then they would leave. And my job was to prepare the food, make sure the drinks are there, prepare everything, and I would do that for them. And then one day, one of his friends was drunk, and he said to my uncle, this game of cards is boring us. We need something else to do. So my uncle said, what will you do? And his friend turned around to him and he said, give us your daughter. And my uncle stood up and said, don't you dare touch my children. And they said, no, we mean that one that's serving us. That one is not your own. And my uncle said, oh, yes, you can have. So for a period of, I don't know how long, whether it was 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year, these guys will come and eat their food, drink their drink, and then they'll rape me. It wasn't easy time to go through. It was hard. And there are times when I wanted to run away. And I ran away and I got to this bridge, and behind me I could see my uncle's house in the distance. And then I could see Kampala, which is the capital city, in front of me. And the voice said to me to go back. And in that time I said, why should I go back? I didn't want to go back. And the voice said, go back. And then lastly, the voice said to me, if you don't go back, you will become what they've done to you. And I didn't understand it at that point because I was only 8 years old, or 8.5, Joe. Between that time, I didn't understand what that statement meant. But the voice was so different and so sweet. So I said, okay, I'll go back. So I went back, and within probably maybe a few weeks of going back, a woman turned up at my uncle's house, and she said, I've come from your mom. I'm going to take you away. And she literally took me in the car, took me to the airport, cleaned me in the airport, gave me new clothes in the airport, and put me on the plane. So that's how I ended up in the UK.